I'm making sweet and sour tofu for dinner tonight. So I've got 500 grams of tofu, but it's in liquid. So I want to get rid of the liquid because then it will be able to absorb yummier stuff, flavouring. So I'm going to tip out the water and then also squeeze it. So what I do is I use a tea towel and then I put it between two boards or like two heavy things to try and squeeze as much liquid out as I can. So I'm going to do that now. So this is firm tofu and I'm going to actually cut it, it's quite thick, so I'm going to cut it into thirds to then, to make it thinner. So I've got some boards on it and I'm going to leave it like that for a while just so that all the moisture gets absorbed into the tea towel, which means that then I'm ready to marinate the tofu and stuff. So that's it for now. The tea towel with the tofu is completely soaked, so I'm going to swap it to a new dry tea towel to keep absorbing some of the liquid. So it works really well doing it this way. I've often done when there's recipes that say to use like a tofu presser and I'm like, I don't have a tofu presser, that shouldn't stop me from having tofu. So you just kind of figure out your own way of doing stuff. So here is the completely wet tea towel. Here's my dry one. And while that's actually still absorbing the moisture, I'm going to get some of the other ingredients ready. So I'm going to marinate the tofu in soy sauce, garlic and cornflour. So I'm going to get a garlic clove and chop that up now. I'm doing 2 garlic cloves because they're just really small. So I'm also going to chop up 1 red capsicum and half a red onion. So this is separate, so I'm not going to combine it with the garlic. The garlic is for the marinade with the tofu. These two are just tuck in as ingredients. So I've chopped up the capsicum and the red onion. Capsicum is in little chunks like that, the onion is a little bit finer. And next I'm going to get some pineapple. Like, I'm sure it's great if you use fresh pineapple, but I've got tinned one. It's half a cup of pineapple, so I will just get what I need from this tin. It's already chopped up, so it's pineapple pieces. I'm going to start doing the tofu now. This tea towel is also slightly wet, so it's definitely absorbed a lot more. Now, I always used to do tofu, I'd always like chop it up into squares, but I realised that you can like shred it and it looks a lot yummier to eat. And yeah, so I'm going to do that. So just kind of similar sizes to what it would be if I were chopping it into little cubes, but just breaking it into pieces. And then I'm putting it into my bowl that only has the garlic clove. I'm adding 1 tablespoon of soy sauce to the tofu and then I'll mix it through. I'm adding 1/3 of a cup of corn flour. I'm going to sprinkle it over the tofu and mix it through so it's all coated. tofu with soy sauce and coated in cornflour. So the only thing left to do before I start cooking is making the sauce. So I'm going to get a Pyrex jug and put the sauce ingredients in there. So in my Pyrex jug, I'm putting half a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of tomato sauce or ketchup, a quarter of a cup of just normal white vinegar, and a quarter of a cup of water, as well as a tablespoon of soy sauce and a garlic clove. Just going to use the vinegar and all the liquids to rinse out the tomato sauce left in here. So that's the brown sugar, ketchup, vinegar and water. So 1 tablespoon of soy sauce and a garlic clove. Found my last 2 tiny garlic cloves. Gonna mix the sauce with a fork and then it's all ready to start frying and cooking, ready for dinner. Yum. It's time to start cooking the tofu for dinner. So I've got my pan here, I've just heated up some olive oil and now I'm going to put in the tofu that's been marinating, and it's got the cornflour, and fry it up. So the tofu starts changing colour, and there are some chunks that haven't actually like stuck to the tofu, so they're kind of just chunks of flour, but that will be fine as it is, but also it'll help thicken the sauce later anyway, so it's all good. Might have needed a bigger pot, but that's okay. I like shredding the tofu and then coating it because I feel like it gives it a bit more like nooks and crannies to get the cornflour in, and it kind of makes it crispier all up. Eventually this frying pan is also going to hold all the veggies, so I'm definitely going to have to change pan. This is looking really good. I'm going to change pans. If I use the big one to start with, I would need to, but... So let's pretend that's the same pan. I'm going to remove the tofu. And I'm going to add a bit of oil again and then fry up the capsicum, the pineapple and the red onion. I'm going to cook this until the onion is like soft and cooked and the pineapple and the capsicum are slightly browned. The onion's definitely soft, so just waiting for the pineapple to brown a bit. Won't be able to see it much, I think, but it's looking nice and brown. So now that that is brown, I'm going to add the sauce ingredients that I put in my jug earlier. and stir that through, and the sauce will start to thicken. So the sauce has thickened a little bit, so I'm going to add the tofu in, mix it all through and let the tofu heat up as well, and then it's pretty much ready to serve. I'll just like very gently stir it so that the tofu doesn't break apart anymore, or the cornstarch around the tofu fall off. The sauce has kept on thickening. You can see it looks so good. I'm going to start serving, so we're serving it with rice and then the sweet and sour tofu, and I'm going to sprinkle some sesame seeds on top.